The woman was the driving force behind the 400,000 acres of land and the TV show that people all over the world loved. You probably got it, we're talking about Ree Drummond. Not to worry, we'll show you what she did wrong and why things look so bad for her in this movie. Before we tell you how she fell, we need to present her to people who have forgotten about her. People called her the woman of the wild and the woman known as the pioneer woman. She was very well liked because she was one of the few people who showed the world the real beauty of country life and the happiness of home-cooked meals. She owned a ranch in Oklahoma and was proud of it. She shared parts of her life on blogs, TV shows, and with the help of many brands that helped her. She began very small, but she worked very hard and built a company all by herself. A lot of people agree on one thing: some people hated her and some people loved her. She was a great woman. Before anything else, she was born on January 6, 1969 in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. Her name was Anne Marie Smith. Because she was born into a family with everything she needed to make it big, it was like her fate was already set. You ask, what in her family do they are in charge of taking care of a country club? So she felt a strong link to ranch life right away. She was sure of what she wanted to do with her life, so she went to the University of Southern California, USC, to study media right away. But then she made a big choice: she wanted to study gerontology. A lot of thought had gone into her plans for her life, but young love crashed them all. The woman who was meant to go to law school in Chicago married the rough and tumble cowboy of her dreams in 1966. Love changed her life. Was this guy the one who changed her plans? Beautiful Ree was the one who met Lad Drummond. People talked a lot about how shaky their relationship was because it was based on a teenage romance, but they proved everyone wrong by living a happy, stable life on the ranch they loved. They loved each other deeply and had 5 children together on their ranch. Yes, these are the kids that everyone loves so much. They had 2 sons, Bryce and Todd, and 2 girls, Alex and Paige. Last but not least, their adopted son Jamar is the odd one out. You'll have to wait until the end of the movie to learn more about these kids. What was it about her that made her so well known? For what reason did the girl who was meant to be a doctor become the love of so many people? We'll tell you more about the small thing that set it off right now. The whole thing began when Ree had the smart idea to write blogs about parts of her life and post them online. A young woman tried to do something simple, but she would have known that this silly thing she did would change her life for better or worse. Let's find out. Ree's first blog, which documented her and her husband's daily life, came out in the middle of the 2000s. It quickly became a huge hit, which led to the creation of the Pioneer Woman brand. She decided to break the rules and turn her blog into a family blog about the crazy and interesting life of the Drummonds instead of just being about her. It was like she was born to sell things, and she turned this early success into a full-fledged empire that grew into many other businesses, such as the Pioneer Woman Mercantile in Pawhuska, Oklahoma, which is a bakery, restaurant, and store. She also opened a small hotel and several neighborhood businesses, such as P-Town Pizza and Charlie's Sweet Shop. She was having a great time, and she promised herself that she would not waste any of her fame. It's fun, just like a fairy story, right? It looks like fate just ruined her perfect life. When she woke up, the terrible news was that her beloved husband's life was in danger. Lad and his nephew Caleb were near their land when a fire broke out in March 2021. They were almost killed by the heat. During this emergency, they were each driving their own fire truck, when they finally lost control and hit each other head-on. Lad was badly hurt, but he refused to go to the hospital right away. Even though he was hurt, the first thing he did was help his nephew because Lad's injuries were so minor compared to his own. Poor Caleb was almost dead because he had been badly hurt in many places, including his head, arm, leg, and internal organs. Right away, though, she used this to warn people about the risks of farm life, and she also used her blogs to spread the word. Some people thought she was getting too big for the platform. Her journey began in May 2006, when she started her blog, The Pioneer Woman, with the name pioneerwoman.com on. Did you know what she wrote in her blogs that made her so popular? People loved reading about her life on the land, and in high school, in her first blogs, which were called The Confessions of a Pioneer Woman, she started out as a casual writer, but when she learned how good she was at writing about food, she became more interested. So she turned to making videos about food for fun and re-released her first recipe, a guide to cooking steak. It was about a year after she started the blog, and afterwards her fame went through the roof. She was slowly becoming a well-known name that everyone knew. People loved how she talked about her daily adventures on the ranch while she shared her easy, hearty recipes. Her easygoing, friendly writing style made readers feel like they were part of her family. The things she wrote about also seemed like real tips from a close friend, which helped the blog get a lot of readers. As of May 2011, about 23.3 million page views and over 4.4 million unique users were coming to the Pioneer Woman every month. It was one of the most well-known leisure blogs and made more than $1 million a year. from ads alone. In 2009, she published The Pioneer Woman Cooks Recipes from an Accidental Country Girl, and in 2010, she published The Pioneer Woman Cooks Food from My Frontier. Both of these books were big hits with readers. Once she was making good money as a writer, she turned her attention to writing children's books like Charlie the Ranch Dog, and it became a fan favorite as soon as it came out. She was smart because when she wrote these books for kids, she got a future fan base that would become hooked on her channel. She also introduced kids to Charlie, her beloved basset hound. It seemed like everything she touched turned gold. She was doing well in every area of her life. This was proven even more when she featured on Throwdown with Bobby Flay in 2010. This led to her becoming the host of The Pioneer Woman, a TV show on the Food Network that began airing in August 2011. Millions of people around the world loved her, and the show let watchers live through her whole life. She also helped bring more tourists to the area where she grew up, and that brought attention to the secret beauty and charm of rural America. There's no doubt that food writers do gain some weight, and Ree was no different. Of course, she didn't just accept that and never try to change. As a famous person, she knew what her duty was and used her fame to spread information about good living. She told everyone about her health journey, and in 2021, she worked hard to get healthier and lost 50 pounds. Some changes she made to her life were eating more veggies and protein. She promised herself she would never drink booze again and focus on healthy meals that would make her feel full and energized. She got back in shape by working out every day. Do we not have something? In her blogs, the Pioneer talks about a lot of different things, but one thing will always come up: her family. Get ready to meet all of the Drummond kids. Let's begin with the family's eldest child. It's Alex Drummond. The little girl was born in 1997 and grew up on the land her family owned in Pawhuska, Oklahoma. When her mother, Ree Drummond, started writing, she was about 9 years old. Ree already had a reality show going when she was 14. Alex said that her mother's fame never changed how she raised her, which I thought was pretty cool. She seems like the same mom she did before everything went crazy. Some people got the wrong idea from what she said. That was until 2011, when she said that she thought Ree was normal, weird, funny, and down to earth. Even though she was the daughter of someone like Ree, her life wasn't very good. It was hard for her to believe in herself, and she was worrying about many things. You might find it hard to believe, but Alex has all these fears because she was homeschooled and has always thought she was raised correctly. When she talked about her youth, she always said she wished she had been less stressed about these things. Alex went to Texas in 2015 to go to Texas A&M University. It was there that she joined the group Tri Delta. She met her future husband, Mauricio Scott, when she was a student in college. Let me tell you a funny story. She doesn't remember the exact time they met, but the exact place and time are still unknown. They think it might have been at one of her sorority's date parties. Alex worked for a big company in Dallas for a year after she finished from Texas A&M in 2019. But that's when the terrible outbreak happened. Her life went from being safe and easy to being hit by a typhoon, and she had to go back to her family business. She put all of her stress aside and helped her mom with her show and other tasks. Because everything went so well, this became her full-time job before she knew it. Alex asked Mauricio to marry her in 2020, and they did so on May 21st, 2021, at the Drummond family home. One more funny thing about their relationship is that they got married when they were 21, but their first anniversary wasn't until 2022. At that point, Alex said that they weren't in a hurry to have a child. They wanted to fully enjoy being married, but we guess they were getting tired of it because in March 2023, they announced that they were going to have their first kid in June 2024. At this point, Ree had also changed from being a pioneer mother to a pioneer grandma. Paige Drummond is the second child in Ree Drummond's big family. She was born in Oklahoma on August 31st, 1999, and is Alex's younger sister. Paige was also homeschooled because of the way she raised her children. Ree always told Paige how good she was at taking pictures, baking, and how excited she was. Due to her great skills, Paige took it upon herself to keep Ree's routine in order when Alex went to college in 2015. Even though it was a good cover, things went wrong again when Paige had to leave for the University of Arkansas in 2018. Ree liked the new house, and she joked that it was a guy cave. The people who lived in her cooking platform became huge football fans, and when Paige graduated in 2022, she made them all line up. She took back the job of handling Rye that she had before, and she now does it full-time. She didn't live her whole life for her family. She had found a boyfriend. Paige got engaged to David Anderson in August 2024. They had been dating for a year. Get ready for the family's first kid. He was the one who tipped the scales. He came into the world on September 17th, 2002. The number of boys to girls in the house changed when he moved in. Besides that, he made a lot of people happy and laugh. Bryce's great sense of humor is something Ree talks about a lot. She calls him the person who can always make her laugh. Bryce grew up in Pawhuska. He was homeschooled like his sisters, and he was one of the stars of his mom's show. It will shock you what the most important thing he ever did was. Do you remember how he said the family's guys were crazy about football? Yes, it was all his fault, and he proved himself when he did well in football and made his family happy. Bryce was a very smart and talented child who worked very hard. There were a lot of college options for him from schools like Purdue, Texas State, and Tulsa. Once more, he shocked everyone when he decided to give up on his ability and commit to the University of North Texas. A lot of the time, Ree would brag about how much she loved Bryce, which made me feel proud and laughed as I heard about his growth. She was proud to remember how hard he worked to get where he was and how sad it was to see him leave for college. She often talked about how much she missed him. Bryce finally gave in to her mom's pleas that she was innocent and moved closer to home by transferring to Oklahoma State University in April 2023. He and his family were both happy about this. Todd Drummond was the name of the crazy football fan who was at their house. Like his brother, he was smart and talented, and he wanted to be like his bigger brother, so he went in the same direction. In his haste to catch the shadow, he forgot all about his brother and became the starting quarterback for Pawhuska High School. He was so good that he threw for over 3,600 yards and 50 scores. Ree was very proud of how hard Todd worked, and in the fall of 2022, they even gave him an issue of the magazine Pioneer Woman. It was 2023, and Todd started playing college football at the University of South Dakota. Ree was so excited that she couldn't hold it in. She would talk about him whenever she could, and she always cared deeply about him and backed everything he did. Finally, let's talk about the last family member. This one is a little different. Ajay Goff is his name. He's not Ree or Lad's son either. The couple took him in as a foster son in 2018. They didn't plan for him to join their family, but they are very proud of the choice they made. A lot of people had ideas about who he was, why they accepted him, and whether there was a secret to his adoption. For a while, Ree chose to keep his story to herself. But when she thought the time was right, she wrote about it in her book, Frontier Follies. At first there were some problems, but they were all solved during a busy day, and it happened when Jamar was hurt very badly in an accident. The Drummonds looked out for him and helped and cared for him in every way they could. At the end of the day, Ja, the equal sign R, took them all. They've been living happily ever after up to this point. Based on what we've told you so far, Ree seems to be having a great life. However, there are many things going on behind the scenes that you can't see. Many of her fans have stopped following her because her blogs don't look professional, making it seem like she's not taking things seriously. Even worse, they don't like the old-fashioned way she gets views. People believe that the creative spark she had during the alert days is gone and things will only get worse from now on. Aside from that, October 2021 was a very important month for her. When Ree Drummond learned that her older brother Michael Smith had died suddenly, she had to deal with her grief. He loved this person, but he died at the age of 54. Michael had a lot of friends and family in the Bartlesville, Oklahoma area. He was very important to Ree. She loved him so much that she said he was her first friend. Everyone around her tried to make her feel better, but she just couldn't let go of this. Ree Drummond's family and friends have noticed that she has changed some of her habits. They believe that things will not go well for her if she does not stop.